Okay.
You want to check again once for a minute?
That's fine. If we are live, we can start.
Okay. So, welcome everyone for the new session of Tinkerpreneur 2023. Today we have a very exciting session for you, and I'm sure once you meet our guest, especially the students, will be really excited. So today's session will be on digital marketing, and uh, so obviously it is the core of what the projects that you will be doing in your journey of Tinkerpreneur. So today we have a very special guest, Swati. She is working with Hotstar, Disney Hotstar. I'm I'm sure many students would have been very excited just hearing that. So I'll not take much of your time. I'll hand it over to Swati. Have a great session and happy learning. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you. Thank you, Prateek. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. Keep joining in. And I'm so happy to be here. When I was asked to put up a session together, um, I thought about it that what should we be talking about? And I decided that let's talk about the basic nuances of digital campaigns. I've been a part of this industry for quite some time. I've been in the digital space for about 10 odd years. And my journey with digital started way back in 2012, 13 with Flipkart, when Flipkart wasn't even an app. It was literally a website, and we were working on making the app that time. So since then, I have been in absolute love with all things digital, product, marketing, and we've seen social media platforms come and grow and become big and even get closed, like in the case of TikTok, for example. So my journey has been in this space. I have worked with MX Player, I worked with Takatak. I have also had the fortune to work with TVF, and now I'm currently with Disney Hotstar, looking at some international geographies for them. So in today's session, what I've tried to do is that I will be talking about some basic things that you need to keep in mind while planning your digital campaigns. And what I was told was that the bunch of students who will be attending the session today are working on their own thing, and this is such an amazing time. I mean, when we were students, there were no such opportunities, and there was no such mentorship programs. And I'm so glad to be here to be talking to all of you guys. I would love to individually also connect with you guys in case you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. I love interacting with students and engaging with them. So let's start with the session. Without further ado, if in case you have any questions, there's always that comment box wherein you can keep parking your questions. We will take them towards the end of the session. And Prateek is the host and host for the session. So thanks a lot, Prateek, for having me. And let's start. Right, so I'll just collapse this. So the session's name, I've specifically kept it Digital Marketing 101 for the simple reason that today we'll be talking about basics. And what I intend for you guys or for everyone who's attending the session to learn and take away from this session is are these four key things. The basic nuances and frameworks. We'll talk about a couple of frameworks which will help you do market research, which will help you understand how do you position your product, how do you really set yourself apart. Should you even launch in a particular market or not? Does this idea make sense also or not? So there are quite a few frameworks that we'll be talking about, and you can research more about them and read about more other frameworks. I'll give you a sense of how to even go about that. Then we'll talk about a five-step guide to running an end-to-end social media campaign. Now, what I understood from Prateek and team was that you guys are starting and working on your startups. So, what I would want you guys to do after you've seen this session is to practically go back and kickstart working on your social media campaigns. And that is something that you can do absolutely free of cost. And that's the whole idea that I've shared quite a few free tools as well with you. And in case you really love something, you really love a tool, then you can even go for the freemium model. Keep signing up. Most of them offer um, free trials. And it's absolutely worth it to invest in a tool in case you really feel it's helping you grow your product or kind of reach out to new audience. So we'll be talking about a five-step template guide process. And this is something which will stay relevant always. You can always go back to it, whether you're planning a 10 crore campaign, or you are planning a 50,000 rupees campaign, or you're planning a 5,000 rupees campaign. Trust me on that. Then we'll be, like I said, we'll be talking about the free tools and templates. So there'll be a lot of templates I'll be sharing during the course of this live. Please feel free to make a note of those and keep taking notes, uh, and they'll really come in handy. I use them even today. So that's it, and we'll start. So I think the first question that would come to our mind is why digital marketing? And you say, oh, everyone is present digital, everyone's doing it. But just because everyone's doing it does not mean that's the reason why you have to do it. So the question here is that why digital marketing? I would ask another question and say, how many hours on an average do people spend online in a day? So what do you think would be an answer to that? I mean, like, I think you will immediately think about, okay, how much time am I spending online in a day? And for young students, it'll be really on the higher side. But to answer the question here, it's considerable amount of time. On an average, it's 7 to 8 hours. So this is the breakup as per age and gender, that how much time on an average people are spending online. But and obviously this is average, so you can imagine for some people it will be on the upwards of 12 hours, 13 hours as well. Now this will get you thinking that there are only 24 hours in a day. That will not change, and that cannot change, of course, right? So out of 24 hours, one third of the day on an average is spent online. So imagine, on the higher side, for some people, it might be as high as 50% of their day. And in the remaining part of the day, you got to do everything. You have to go about your day, you have to do your daily responsibilities, you have to eat, bathe, go out, probably do your work, even sleep. Everything has to be fitted into that remainder part of the day. But majority part of your life, your day, you're kind of spending online. So when you say one third of the day, it also kind of means that one third of an individual's life probably is going online. So that's why you need to connect with them there. If people are there, how will you talk to them if not online? Then coming on to, so because we are short on time, it's a 1 hour session. Having established we need to be present on digital. What are the models? How do you start? Like, I have a product idea in mind. I know what I want to do, and this is my idea, this is my startup idea, or this is the company that I'm working for. How do we start? From where do we start? So to start with, you do a kind of a market research or a market readiness analysis and see whether it makes sense for you to launch in the particular market, whether the target audience is making sense for you, and whether the market is ready for such kind of a product also or not. So when we talk about models for market research and trying to understand whether the basics of the market are ready and working in your favor for you to launch, you can look at these models from two key perspectives. One would be a macro view, which will essentially give you a macro view of the market or the industry that you're operating in, like I said. And the other is the micro view of your product and service, wherein you'll be drilling deep into what are the essentials that are building your product and service. What is the value proposition? How will you stand out? How do you want to position yourself? What would be the communication strategy? A lot of those things. So basically, on the spectrum, from a smallest micro detail to the macro level analysis, this is the view you need to get before you start even working on any particular campaign. So I will talk about three frameworks today in this session, but I would really want all of you guys to research on frameworks of marketing frameworks and analysis when after this session, of course. Okay, so the first macro framework is an industry or product life cycle. Now, when we talk about a life cycle, it's essentially an industry or any product in the market. It is introduced, and then it basically starts growing. People start picking it up. Then it reaches a maturity stage wherein uh, there is enough amount of penetration that has already happened. You really can't. More number of people cannot either afford it or are not educated enough to use that particular product or service, and then there'll be coming a point of saturation when growth will not happen in that industry, but some other new form of technology or some alternate things would be replacing the existing original product, and hence you'll start seeing a decline. Now, I'll take you through an example of this entire industry life cycle. And the example can be, for example, take television. Now, television, when it was introduced, it had, if you remember, like not most of you will not remember, I'm sure probably your parents will remember because it was introduced during their when they were kids. At that time, not many households had TV. Only few could afford it, right? And they were bulky, huge televisions, right? Pretty big ones, like very big sized ones. And I mean, like your parents would be talking about, hey, there were like 12 channels in our television, and not more than that. And for cable, we used to feel so privileged if somebody had a cable connection. Otherwise, it was just DD1 and Doordarshan that we used to watch. Then came the growth space when television started getting thinner, little more affordable, and more brands entered into the market. So obviously the market was expanding, the audience started adopting, and businesses were focusing on growth, and more players started entering in the industry. Right, cable started growing. Then came a time like that is a time would be when you guys would be little kids, and that was a maturity phase wherein the market was really becoming big. Almost every household was having a television. It may or may not be a flat screen, but every house essentially had a television. Everyone had a cable connection. Tata Sky happened, and so many, I mean, Tata Sky went absolutely crazy. And then there was this whole regulation that happened. You could not have a cable connection. You need to have a set-top box. So the industry started evolving and maturing, right? Now came a point in time in this industry, in the television industry, when suddenly internet started booming to such an extent that parallelly people started watching content on their mobile phones, right? And then there came a time, which is the time that we are currently somewhere around the saturation and decline, maybe not decline, but say saturation of this industry, wherein there is Fire Stick, wherein there is Geo set-top boxes, which are powering the television, this thing, but through internet, right? So the usage is shifting more to mobile. If I were to talk about D plus H, Disney Hotstar, if I were to talk about OTT platforms, so many OTT platforms are present that we have reached a point where in OTT platforms are doing mergers and acquisitions, and we are reducing in number, right? There were too many of them 5 years back, and now the number of OTT platforms also have reduced. So essentially, what we are seeing is that people now have a tendency to watch things online. You want to watch things at your own time. You want to watch things on the go. So there is that saturation which has reached that now the industry will not increase to such an extent. Now the industry is seeing some kind of a decline, and new forms of technology is replacing it. So you need to, when you look at this entire framework, what you need to see is that where is your industry at? Which level or stage is your industry at? And it is best to enter a market which is at its growth stage. It's easier, you don't need to spend too much money on knowledge, and players are just entering the market, so you have that niche. Introduction is also good, but in introduction, you have to spend a lot of money in educating. And things are usually a little expensive in the introduction side, but profitability is definitely high. So that's a good point of introduction. But customer acquisition is a little difficult because you need to educate the customer also. In the growth space, there will be definitely more players, but yet you can keep an edge. So somewhere here, this is a good point to enter an industry as a startup, as a new company that you're starting about. Anything here, like if you're entering an industry in the maturity stage, it doesn't make sense you to pump in a lot of money, and you need to have a lot of bandwidth to kind of support that entire piece. And you should be in that stage wherein you are coming up with new things. Then there's another macro framework that you look at, which is called the brand perception map. The brand perception map is essentially looking at it is competition analysis. So earlier, the first one was about industry. The second macro framework I'm talking about a competition analysis framework, wherein you look at competition and you see that how are they positioned in the minds of people? How are people seeing your competition? So this is an example of the automobile industry that I've shared here. That when we talk about Tesla, Tesla is high quality and very high price. Audi, German manufacturing, high quality, high price. And Ferrari is super high quality, super high price. Like you can't afford it. But when you talk about like a Toyota, Toyota is okay, quality is good, but price, they're not asking for too much compared to if you see the market this thing, right? Volkswagen, a similar car in Volkswagen, quality is similar to your Toyota, but Volkswagen would be 4-5 lakhs more expensive. So if you have seen the automobile industry, you'll kind of agree with this whole brand perception map that has been created. Now, here you figure out that if you are an entrant into an industry and you are able to see your competition in this one view, you are able to understand, hey, where do I position myself? What is the quality of my product and what am I bringing to the table? Do I charge high, give high quality? Now, this is one example of automobile industry. The variables of this brand perception map would also change for you when you look at your competition. So price and say maybe something else like number of amount of space if you're a digital tech startup, a SaaS based company. So price and number of features that you're allowing your users to use on your product, that can be the brand perception map, right? That how easy is it price and how many features are you getting out of it. So this is how you view it, and then you understand that where is that market gap and how will your product be taken by the people when you launch. It is not, also you need to understand the brand perception map is built from the point of view of the audience. So it is not necessary what you want to do that will essentially happen. If you want to position yourself as a premium product, your messaging, your communication, everything needs to be aligned along those lines. Going ahead, now this framework is a micro framework. So I talked about, you can look at the macro analysis, wherein first we talked about the industry scale, then we talked about competition, the different competition, how do you look at that? And third, let's talk about one micro framework, wherein you look inwards, right? You look inwards and then you say that, okay, who am I? What am I trying to do here? So this is a marketing mix framework wherein you look at product, promotion, price, place, people, processes, and physical evidence, or basically any physical channels of distribution as well. Essentially, this is distribution. So product, price, place, promotion, the four P's of marketing. The four, what does being market ready mean? Market ready means that whether the market, it doesn't make sense for you to even launch in that particular market. Is, like I said, market readiness is more along these lines. This was a question that was asked, it popped it on my screen, so I'm just taking it up right now. If the market is in the saturation or decline stage, it is not, you should not be launching. The market is not willing to accept you. But yes, if you're in the growth stage, and there's not much competition, yes, the market is ready for you. You can launch in that market. So that's what I meant when I said market ready. Also, market ready, are you ready to be able to launch in the market? So it works on both fronts. So this is the micro analysis when you look inwards into yourself and you figure out that, hey, what would be the product quality be? What kind of features are we providing? What kind of customer support and end-to-end product journey? How are we going about it? So I have listed down this kind of this particular slide has all sorts of information of a marketing mix that we need to look at. So these are the things you need to detail down. And once you detail down who you are, right, and what the market is and what your competition is, these three things together will help you decide whether you are market ready or not. Should you go ahead in the market or not? It is very possible when you work on these macro and micro framework, guys, you will alter your product strategy, you will alter your product offering, you will probably make changes to your value prop, you will make changes to, you cannot make changes to what is happening in the market. That is governed by people, that is governed by your audience. But you can surely make changes to what you are offering in order to make sure that that product market fit exists, and only then should you launch in the market, right? So this is stage one. Do not think about starting work on campaign, social media, start karo, let's start working, let's go, without doing due diligence on these frameworks. There are many more. There's SWOT analysis, there is Porter's five principle, there are so many of them. There is that whole star cash cow analysis that happened. There are quite a few of them. Just do your research, pick up the ones that works best for you. The ones that I've picked up are the ones which will work for all industry across the board. They are the most universal ones, and hence my favorite. Another universal one is a SWOT analysis. You can do that for your competition, direct competition, and for yourself, and see in comparison where are the market gaps and where you can enter. Right? Now, once you establish that product market fit, we'll come on to the campaign objective. Now, when I talk about the campaigns that you build, campaigns, I'm talking about purely from a standpoint that, hey, I want to launch and I want to reach new audiences. I want to basically reach a new set of people and launch in the market. Now, due to lack of time, like I said, digital marketing is a whole big beast. I have done 6 months, like I've conducted courses across months to teach students. But so I'm just covering the very basic nuances of digital here, and as we go deeper into this presentation today, I'll now be talking more on the side of social media campaigns because that is something which you can start right away. It is more DIY. It is something that you guys are very, very friendly with because all of you would have all the social media apps on your phone. It's very easy for you to kind of use them. If you can use them for your personal use, you can definitely use them from a business point of view. And hence, my focus will be a lot more towards social media going forward. For that too, you need to set the campaign objective. Now you're working on your social media campaign. What should your be objective? What should be the objective? Look, this is a digital marketing objective. I'm sorry. I'll talk about the social media marketing objective detailed out maybe 2, 3 slides down the line. Campaign objective is you need to create, communicate, and deliver value to your target market, and you need to make a profit. Essentially, this is your goal. There is no other goal other than this. If you are launching in a market, you have a product that you need to sell, you need to you need to create a product, you need to know the end-to-end journey. It can be a service also. Whatever it is, you need to create that, and it needs to make some sense. Once you know what you've created, you need to communicate. You need to know that what it is, what is the your vision around it, what are your brand ethos. And I'm not talking about a detailed brand guideline here. I'm not talking about color scheme, color coding, what colors and what typography and what fonts you have to use. No, no, no. I'm talking about what does your brand really stand for? What does your product really stand for? Is it something which is something which is low cost and high value? Is it something which is premium, upmarket? Is it something that you would want people to show off? Is it something that would save you time? What is your value prop? What do you bring to the table? Right? You need to deliver on your promise. Now, whatever promise you're communicating, you need to deliver on that. Now, where do you deliver? You deliver through customer touch points and sales channels. And this is why digital is important because people are spending 8 to 10 hours online daily. This is where they're at. And if people are online, you need to within online figure out that what are your touch points? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Are they present or searching on Google? Are they reading a certain category of articles on certain websites? So you need to place your ads there. And what are your sales channels? Is it multi-channel stores like Amazon, Flipkart, or will you be making your own website? Will you be selling through WhatsApp? Will you be selling through Instagram? All of those things you need to figure out because you need to deliver what you've created and deliver and keeping the promise of your communication alive. Now let's come to the value part. We talked about value prop when we talked about the communication piece. Value prop needs to be very crystal clear and it needs to communicate what are you doing for the customer. This is where I have seen some startups, not some, quite a few of them go really wrong. Value prop, guys, cannot be what am I? I'm somebody, I have built a new product which is not there in the market. I have done this. I am using AI technology to do this. I am using the latest, no one is doing this. I'm offering the lowest price. I am doing this. No, you are offering the lowest price. Great. What are you doing for the customer? You're saving them money. So saving money becomes the value prop. Value prop needs to be talked to the customer in the customer language, in the target audience language. It should not be who am I. If you just talk about yourself, I am this, you're just being, nobody wants to listen to you. Who wants to listen to somebody say, मैं ये हूँ, मैं वो हूँ? No, right? You get bored. You want to, if you are having a conversation, you want to know how is it beneficial for you. Now imagine two sets of conversation. One person is telling you how you're such an amazing personality, doing your tarif and is talking really great things about you and how you're so amazing. And the other person is talking about himself. Which of the two conversations do you want to be a part of? Obviously, the one where they are doing your tarif. You want to listen to it. You want to say, okay, yeah, okay, this is what's in it for me. Okay, you're doing my tarif. It's about me. So you need to talk about the customer, not about yourself, right? So even if you want to talk about yourself, you need to morph it into what the customer wants to hear. That's how you talk about the value prop. Target audience. You please do not have to talk to everyone. You need to know who's your target audience. You need to create buyer personas, uh, age, demographic, all of these factors play into mind. I will not go into details of those, but essentially, you should not be talking to everyone. Select the people you're talking to. And it needs to make business sense. You need to make profit. You cannot keep burning money. We know VCs also have a different perspective on startups now. Gone are the days when you could just say like, "Hey, I just want to grow. Keep giving me money." That doesn't happen. You need to make money. Profitability is important. Operating income is very, very important. So when you're working on an overall digital campaign, this is how you create your campaign objective. This is how you are going to create, communicate, and deliver value to target market, making a profit for yourself. There is no other way to do it. So list those things down and make your objective very clear. So I'll talk about some websites here. I talked about the value prop. Now, Canva is a tool on which you can create without being a designer. You can create images, right? Now, if Canva can say, "Hey, what is Canva?" Canva is something. We are a tech-based platform, and we can help you create images very quickly, and you do not need anything for creating. You don't need any expertise to create any images. We are that good. Now, this is one way of saying their value proposition. Instead, what Canva essentially says is that anyone and everyone is a designer. So they don't say that what you need to do or who am I and how am I great. Yes, they know they're great. They tell the user that you don't have to worry about anything. Everyone is a designer. Everyone is a creative guy. So what they're essentially doing it in terms of value prop, they're telling you, hey, you will save money because everyone is a designer. You don't need to hire a designer, so you'll save money there. You'll save time because you don't have to depend on a designer. You don't have to learn a technical tool, and you'll save mental effort of learning a technical tool, like I said. So these are the things that you're going to save on, and hence you should come and invest your time, money, and energy in Canva because you will be saving on a couple of these things. Now, make a note of these five things: time, money, physical effort, mental effort, and routine. When I talk about routine, routine essentially is that am I making your daily life easy? When you're making your value prop, guys, it needs to hit on either one or more of these five elements. And this is from a very sound research by a PhD scholar called Dr. B.G. Fogg, who is a Stanford research scholar. And he came up with this principle, which his research is a lot around psychology of people and how machines and humans are interacting, which essentially is called captology. But his research, what he's talked about, made a lot of sense to me from a marketing standpoint. And I realized that if I look at any business's value prop, what they're promising, and successful ones, they will be hitting the audience on one or more of these five elements and not outside of it. So Canva was one example. If we talk about Netflix or if we talk about any OTT platform, so what do they offer? Netflix says that I am making your like taking away the mental stress from your life. So I'm easing your life. Just chill, just relax. You can just watch anything. There's so much for your entertainment. Plus, also what these OTT platforms offer is that I'm saving you the physical effort of getting up, going out and watching a movie. You can watch the movie here. You can watch the movie on our platforms. Ola Share. Ola Share again is saving you money. They're saying that, hey, why do you have to book a separate cab? I'm saving you money. There was another angle that they had given to Ola Share, wherein they said, hey, save the planet, right? So this is something adopting as part of your routine. As part of your routine life, all of us are daily hearing about global warming, how world's gonna come to an end, dunya khatam hone wali hai if we don't change our ways. And now Ola gave you a chance to make a change to your routine to help to basically bring about a change that you truly believe in without you really doing any effort, just signing up for their service, which in turn is helping you save the planet, right? So this is how the routine element comes into the place that your daily day-to-day life, the things that you do in your life, how can you make that easy or how can you make a change to that in a positive way? So if you look at these five things, time, money, physical effort, mental effort, and routine, your value prop of your product service should talk to one or more of these elements. The more elements you're able to communicate and your product is able to solve for, sooner you will be able to grow in the market because the adoption of your product or service will really increase. Okay. So now that I have established the whole first part of the segment, which was about digital, which was about market research, which was about establishing a product market fit, about having clarity of thought in your value prop and your objective, that what are you going to talk about, right? We will come to the second part of this presentation, which is essentially about how do you create an end-to-end social media campaign. Now, as part of this session, we will not be talking about paid advertisements, boost post, ad manager. None of those are we're going to talk about. We're going to simply talk about the strategy behind a social media campaign and how do you structure it? How do you make sure that you're not spending money and not getting any results out of it? So I'm giving you a template today, and this is a template I follow even today for any campaigns that I work on, for any campaigns that come to me for consulting, that are these 5 steps being taken care of. If there is a miss anywhere here, the campaign will fall through the cracks. It will not give you results. It will not yield results, right? So let's talk about this. Okay. So what's the first step? The first step is to create a smart goal or a smart objective. When I say smart, very clear, it needs to be specific, which social media platform and why. All social media platforms are unique. They have their own unique identity. The kind of people on those platforms behave in a certain way. The way people behave on Instagram, they don't behave like that on LinkedIn. If you're a B2B platform, if you're a SaaS-based platform, if you are catering to professionals, LinkedIn makes more sense to you than an Instagram. So be specific in on which social media channel and why. Why is usually answered by that where are your people spending their time? Again, going back to people are spending 7 to 8 hours online. And guys, mind you, out of this 8 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours are spent on social media. And hence I decided let me talk about social today. So if 2 to 3 hours daily people are spending on social media, you need to decide that your target audience, which you defined in that campaign objective, where are they spending time on, which is the social media platform of their choice. And that's how you start. The second is your campaign needs to be measurable, right? Now, what kind of impressions are you trying to generate? How many clicks, views, sale? Now, usually some, like startups come to me and students have come to me asking me, hey, if I'm starting, how do I even know? Like what are the results that I'm expecting? Easy, do your research. You might not have done any campaign in the past. Once you've done some campaigns, you'll know what kind of results you're expecting. But if you're starting fresh, if you've not done a single campaign in the past, all you have to do is you have to research what your competition has done. You have to really go ahead, and we'll talk about in the second step what is working, not working for your competition, how many results are they kind of getting on campaigns, and that's how you work on the measurable part of the smart objective. The third is it needs to be attainable. A, bandwidth. You would want to take over the world with this campaign. You would want, Arey, I want influencers also. I want to create a shoot a video also. I don't want it to be only static campaigns. It's okay. It's okay to aim for the stars. But you need to understand your bandwidth with respect to people, money, and the resources that you have. When you say resources, resources obviously includes both people and money, monetary resources and human resources that you can allocate behind a project. But it needs to be attainable. You need to have the bandwidth to achieve it. If you would want to target the next event, say maybe Diwali, and Diwali is in November, when do you need to start planning for their social media campaign? How many people would you need? So time, people, and money. In these 3 categories, just list down realistically the bandwidth that you have, and that would also impact the goals that you take for yourself and the number of social media platforms you will target as part of your objective. Then it is relevant. It needs to be relevant to your community. Like I said, there's a Diwali campaign, but Diwali, I gave an example. You can do a Diwali campaign if you are in that particular industry wherein a Diwali sale makes sense to people, right? For example, if you are selling clothes, apparels, right, and Diwali would make sense. People buy new clothes and apparels in Diwali. But imagine if you are somebody who's selling kids tiffin boxes and lunch boxes, then more than Diwali, the target time period that would make sense for you is back to school kind of a campaign. Once the summer vacations have come to an end and people are going to school, so you need to target at that point in time. So the timing needs to be relevant to people. And the last part is again the T that I talked about. So relevant, then moves on to the T, the time bound, what the timing of the campaign, the frequency of posts, how many posts are you doing in this campaign, how many social media. So they need to all talk to each other. So you need to build a smart campaign. It needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Going to the next step, step number 2, you got to be a detective. Now, I talked about a measurable campaign, and I said that in order to make a understand that what's working, what's not working, you need to be a detective and search the internet and look at your competition to the minutest of detail. You need to know what's working for them, what's not working for them. And trust me, most of that information is available publicly. Most of it. I will even give you the tools for you guys to do that. But if you actually put in some kind of manual effort, you will know that, okay, videos are working for them. Okay, influencers is what is working for them. Static images, memes is what is working for them. All you have to do is spend time on their social media channels, and you will see how they have learned and how they have grown. And then again, going back to, if somebody comes and tells me that, hey, I'm the first one in my field, there's no competition in my field. That is not possible. There might not be direct competition, but there surely will be indirect competition. So there is something that people are using uh, as an alternate to your product and service that you are offering to them. What is it that they are doing right now that you're trying to change? So, for example, मान लीजिए when Steve Jobs came up with the concept of iPod, he would have said, "Arey, there's no competition. I'm the only one who's launched iPod. Nobody's using that." But incorrect. People were doing using Walkmans, right? Just before iPod came into being. So that was the competition. For iPod, the industry was still in the introduction phase. So they had to do a lot of knowledge sessions, and they had to do a lot of marketing on that. How are we so unique in design? So this is what you need to understand. Don't ever think you don't have a competition. What your current user behavior, the user behavior of your existing set of customers is your competition. So this is the kind of chart. This is again a template. Please feel free to take a screen grab of the template. This is again a template for you guys to kind of follow and have and keep updating this. What in terms of what is working for your competition and not working for all the different social media platforms. So LinkedIn is one. What you can do is direct competition, indirect competition, list down high growth companies in your industry, partners on your product, anybody you want to partner with. Like for example, OTT platforms partner with telco, and the telecom companies give access to OTT platforms for free. So like it's a good partnership to have, like hand in hand. There's no direct competition, but the user set is same. Companies that you have loved growing up, they have no relation to you or your product or service, but you personally admire the way they operate their social media platforms, right? So do a thorough research on those. What's working for them, what's not working for them. So do a website analysis, list down their LinkedIn links, Twitter links, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all social media, and do a in-depth analysis across different parameters. How many followers do they have? What is their engagement rate? What is their frequency? What kind of content works best for them? What are the thematic content that works best for them? Why is it working best for them? Make your notes, keep making your notes, and keep updating those, because this is what will help you make your strategy. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's already there. The information is already there. And here are the free tools that you can use. Because of lack of time, I will not be showing you the usage of the tools. SimilarWeb is a free tool. This is a very, very important one, guys. Please make a note of this. This is a free tool which will tell you all about your competition. आपको आपके competition का कितना traffic है, कहाँ से आ रहा है, what is their monthly traffic, what keywords are working for them. All that information you will get on SimilarWeb. Similarly, BuzzSumo is another one which will give you similar information on keywords and links that your competition that are trending for your competition. So these are the tools. Some of them are free, some are paid. Like Google Trends is free, Similar Web is free, and some are freemium that you can buy a paid version. So use these tools, do a manual exercise, and when you start your campaigns, you should have clear cut idea about what's working and what's not working for your competition. Now I'll come to the step number 3. You've basically made your objective, a smart objective, very clear what you wish to achieve. You've done your research, you know what's working, what's not working. You have some sense, some idea of, hey, I want to do videos. This is the date that I want to target. This is the campaign I want to work on, back to school or Diwali or whatever XYZ. It doesn't have to be a calendar date. It can be It can be an overall campaign of a launch campaign in new geography. So you have some sense and some idea. Now you need to be an artist. You need to get your creativity out. And this creative element of a social media campaign, I've divided essentially into two parts. The first part is what would be the content format. Now, again, this would depend on what platform have you decided upon. That specific part in the target wherein you've decided a particular platform, wherein either it can be a link, a text based content, which can be LinkedIn, can be a text based content. If you create a blog post and share it on LinkedIn, then that would be a link. Is it a video? Is it a meme GIF? Is it an audio event? Is it a podcast? Uh, is it something? Is it just a static image? Right. So, what are the content formats you're using? Are you using a combination of all content format? Are you doing a video series? It's up to you. So, pick and choose your content formats, and then comes the main part. How do you basically categorize your content so that it has a mix of everything? Now, here are some content categories today that I'm going to talk about. You can pick and choose. It will just help you structure your campaign better, but obviously feel free to experiment and feel free to do new things there. Once you've decided that, okay, you want to do videos or you want to do a mix of things, uh, pick up couple of content categories and start brainstorming that direction. So this is just to give you a basic direction of how you can look at it. And I've given you examples, real life examples, latest examples from some of the best companies doing really great work on social media channels. So for you to get an understanding that yes, this is exactly more or less any company social media content posts, you can categorize into these categories, trust me. So the first category is I, me, myself. When you just talk about yourself. Like this is an example from my own company, which is Disney Hotstar, that hey, this movie is coming or this web series is coming. ये होने वाला है, ये इस दिन होने वाला है. Please come watch it. It's about me. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. It's a launch announcement. Or Amazon doing this. Hey, 70% off, 60% off. There is Flipkart talking about their big billion sale days. Amazon talking about the great India sale days. Or talking about discount. Talking about hey, we have a new category when you talk about yourself. Now you cannot talk about yourself in value prop, definitely not, but yes, when you say a social media creative post, you can just talk about yourself and you could just say that hey, I am doing this is the information for you, please come and engage with me and buy from me. The second category is calendar events. Now, these calendar events can be made engaging, can be made entertaining, can be made interesting by basically giving a bland element or a flavor to it. So, that is also very important for social media. Everything is not just about driving sales and revenue, it is just about getting engagement. And that's why I said when we talked about a smart objective, measurable part comes from that do I want to drive engagement or do I want to drive sales from this campaign? If it's engagement, then it needs to be entertaining, right? I mean, something which is funny, something which gets you laughing, something which makes you feel wow, or an emotional connect. So what you need to understand is that when you're working on social media campaigns, what is the emotion that you're driving from that particular post or from that particular campaign? That is very important. Is the reaction to that post or to that content piece happy? Ha ha ha, this is so funny. Let me share it again. All of you must be sharing Insta Reels with at least 10 people in your network. And with three people, you must be sharing at least 10 Reels a day. Hey, this is so funny. Hey, this is so relatable. This is so us. This is so me. These are the kind of reactions you want to take out. The reactions you undergo almost on a daily basis when you see creative content. And that is the reaction you need to pull out from your creative content, even as a brand, and it's possible to do so. It's not difficult. So here are two posts around. One is around Father's Day, wherein Amazon has taken a very funny take on, like like how dads say money doesn't go on tree, paise ped pe nahi ugte hain, and you can just reply by saying savings grow on Amazon Fresh. So a nice small little brand integration with a take on this event on Father's Day. And the another one is Amul, who's been doing this since ages, from sunrise to sunset. So basically, putting in that pun of that word asan and sunrise to sunset, Amul, an Indian tradition. So a cute little way of saying it, making it funny, making it witty, making it something that makes you go, oh, this is cool, or this is fun, this is interesting, wow, right? So that kind of that kind of getting that emotion out or reaction out from people essentially. Then something which drives community conversations. So this is again a post from my own company, which is an Arya is a show, and we did this whole take on words. If you say fearless, we say Arya. Basically talking about a characters from different movie, and then went on to say, hey, you say strong, we say Rani Ba, like basically that key character from the show Saas Bahu and Flamingo. So this is a way you basically telling people also that, hey, yeah, this is a good character, and then it gets conversational. You're engaging people into, you're not telling them go watch the show, but you're in a way, um, you know, um, relating with them on different fronts. You're talking about your character with things that you as an individual might want to inculcate in your life, or something that you see yourself as an aspiration thing. So that subtle conversation driving with people in the community. Now, here's another example by Amul, and I've tried to take some companies and trying to get examples from their own feed, so that, like I said, that the entire feed of a company with a good social media strategy, you can divide in these different categories. Now, here's an Amul. Amul did this whole campaign of wherein they were doing lives with home cooks and featuring their recipe. And in their recipe, all they had to do was just use any one of Amul products. It can be cheese, it can be butter, it can be any one of their products. So this was a campaign which got people talking. People were so proud to share about it. I mean, like this particular individual, Harshida, was making these laddus, and she would have shared with her entire family, hey, Amul is featuring me on their page and giving me that respect, right? So it drove community conversations. People started engaging, her own family members starting engaging with her, and probably came to know about a new type of Amul butter which they did not even know existed, right? So this is a way that you can even introduce your product without, very subtly, and without even doing an on your face promotion of saying आओ मेरा product खरीदो. Another one of community conversation is when Amazon did this India ki apni dukaan, and they thank all of their delivery staff. They said, okay, without them, it's not possible. We are a company, we are a tech player, we show you all the product, but it's these guys who actually make sure that the entire thing is happening. Otherwise, how would have it happened? Wouldn't have happened. So a very great emotional connect. They showed delivery agents going through rain, barish, dhoop, garmi, khana nahi khaya, but still delivering that thing to your doorstep from that small retailer who's selling on Amazon, making it sure that it reaches you. That delivery, the human angle of the delivery process is what they celebrated, and that is something people start talking about. That yes, that's really important. That's such a heartwarming thing. That video got so many shares, and people were really praising Amazon for bringing that to light. The not so talked about behind the scenes people who are actually responsible for the company's success at the end of the day. The second example here is that of Wakefit. I don't know if you've heard of this or not. Wakefit does this campaign, and they're now in the season 3 of this campaign, essentially, wherein they talked about sleep internship. They paid money to people to sleep on their mattresses and just tell them about their experiences. And for that internship, they paid 1 lakh rupees. And the entire marketing value prop of this campaign was, hey, get paid to sleep. It's a sleep internship. All you have to do is sign up for this, and if we select you, all you got to do is sleep and give us some feedback. And that's your work as an intern, and you get paid for it. 1 lakh rupees for sleeping. The thought that you can get paid for sleeping, this is what drove so much of conversations for them, got people attracted, talking about it. So that, in a sense, became a viral campaign. And why it went viral? Because it was driving community conversations. The next example here is going with what went viral. The first one, I mean, the recent video of Ayushmann Khurrana sleeping on the set, memes getting made out of it. I have a feeling most of you must have seen it. But what Wakefit did essentially was, when this video went viral, they made a small uh, song out of it, and not really a song. It was more like a conversation, but rhyming in a sense, like a poem that Ayushmann Khurrana narrated and said, "आज थोड़ा सो लेते हैं." बहुत भाग दौड़ कर ली, एंड इट वेंट समथिंग लाइक बहुत भाग दौड़ कर ली, बहुत रेस में भाग लिए, मार्क्स के पीछे नींद अपनी छोड़ दी, ऑफिस में बॉस की डांट के पीछे पूरी रात की नींद खराब कर ली, तो आज थोड़ा सो लेते हैं. So it is something, the conversations were already happening, memes were already getting made on Ayushmann Khurrana sleeping on a set and just getting that nap in, probably because he'd been very tired, but using that opportunity to create something interesting that resonates and really clearly gets people thinking, huh, like I relate with this, I really relate with this. That is something which will help you gain traction without putting in money into it. Because already something which is getting traction, you kind of basically बहती गंगा में अपने हाथ धो लिए, and you kind of build on that already existing hype around a particular topic. There was another one. Oh, yes, I had skipped this slide. So there was this another one that went viral by Scoopoo, which they said, Isha mera button, and Scoopoo said, and Social Samosa said, uh, moment mera button hai. Like, so there was this dialogue from Brahmastra wherein Ranveer Singh goes, Ranveer Kapoor, I'm sorry, guys. Oh God, I'll be beaten up for this maybe. Ranveer Kapoor goes and says that Isha mera button hai. And all so many companies across Twitter went crazy and went with that. Easy Trip said hassle-free vacation hamara button hai. Uber said trips mera button hai. Woot said binging hamara button hai. So people started talking about their code USP using this viral line, and 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 the entire internet, their target audience, everyone was having fun around it. So that's another example of how you basically, for your content strategy, you think creatively, and then you make use of whatever is going viral and go with the flow. Now, here are again some free and paid example. Canva is the first one. Please, please, if you want to work on social media, creatives, everyone, like Canva says, everyone is a creator, everyone is a designer. You can try Canva. In video is for video editing. In short is another video editing. And here are some tools that you can use for writing. There is copy.ai, ChatGPT, WriteSonic, Jasper, Quillbot, all of them amazing tools. Quillbot essentially does a lot of paraphrasing. You can literally take something which is written on the internet, completely paraphrases in your own tone with this tool. Beautiful tool, amazing tool. I've used all of them, and all of them are phenomenal. Some of them, and they're not very expensive also, but some of them have free versions which you can try. ChatGPT, of course, I'm sure all of you have tried, but how you use it also makes a lot of difference. So please go to YouTube and learn about these tools. Don't assume yourself to be a ChatGPT expert, guys. Prompt writing is also an art. Please go and watch videos and learn prompt writing, setting tonality, setting, folders even within ChatGPT, and making sure that AI understands the directions that you're giving. AI is like a help for you, but if you don't give the right directions, AI can't do anything. Now the step four, it's be an assistant. And how do you be an assistant? This is nothing but a delivery strategy, distribution strategy for your content. You've decided what you want to create, you have your goal clear, you in the content categories, you even picked and choose certain content categories, and you have in mind what you want to create. Where do you distribute it? So you need to have a whole list of things at your disposal. Your brand across platforms, Instagram, Reel, Story, Post, YouTube, what you want to do, and even partnerships. It's not just your brand platforms, but even other people's assets on the internet that you can use. It can be partnerships through influencers, collab pages, and this is what your calendar needs to essentially look like. It needs to be extremely detailed, day wise. There's no time here. I mean, like, there are further details. You can work on templates, but you need to have time that at this time this blog post is going out, and at this time it is getting shared on Facebook. We have a small video going out as an Insta reel at this time, then we're asking a quiz, taking a poll on LinkedIn at this time, XYZ. It needs to be detailed every day, every platform, with time, and with the image creative, what is the content copy. So they're very, this is just one screen grab, but honestly the calendar sheet is like a 10 tab sheet, in which every tab corresponds to every element of your social media calendar. Tools in this segment would be Buffer, Hootsuite, and you can schedule on the app itself. Buffer is a great platform. Hootsuite is also amazing. You can pre-schedule, you can schedule content for a week and then sit back and relax and not worry about it. In case something comes up in between, you can always make changes, alter. And even the apps itself offer a lot of these functionalities. The last step is be an analyst. Without data, without numbers, without understanding what's doing good where, there is no point in doing any of this. Be it Google Analytics, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, all of these social media platforms offer detailed analytics of how your campaigns have performed. Only when you learn from the data that you see can you make your next campaign better. Just remember that. And Yeah, I think we just 2 minutes short to one, and it was a 1 hour session. So I hope I covered it, and that's about it. The summary is that five-step process to a social media campaign is smart, objective, be a detective, artist, assistant, and analyst, and you're done. Voila, you have a great campaign. You can make a great campaign, and trust me, this strategy is foolproof. I have tried it. I still analyze social media campaigns on this framework and template, and using the tools that I gave you, you really can't go wrong. So, thank you so much. And yeah, Prateek, over to you.
Yes. Uh, Thank you, Swati. Thanks a lot for this session. And uh, even like I got to learn a lot through this session, especially the tools and the frameworks and to like these things are being taught in MBA and uh, like our school children are getting exposed to all these concepts and they'll apply it in Tinkerpreneur. So I'm just excited that what they will do when they actually start working.
Thanks.
So
Thank you so much, Prateek. And guys, please connect with me, follow me on LinkedIn, and reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can always ping me with any questions. If you have any specific questions, like I said, I love to interact with students. So here is my LinkedIn profile, and or you can just search for Swati Paliwal in Disney Hotstar, and you'll come across my profile. Thank you.
great. So I hope students had a great session and we look forward to inviting you again for such enriching sessions. And thanks a lot for taking out time for this. Thank you. And thank you all the
Thanks,
students
Prateek.
for joining us on YouTube. And great. Have a good day.
Thank you, Prateek. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you.